guys, what's good my beautiful kings and queens? It's I, Wini, it's your favorite British locked YouTuber. If this is the first time you're watching a video of mine, welcome to my channel. If you're an oldie and you've come back to watch this face, listen, love you so much. Everybody, please make sure, even if you're just stopping by, just having a nose, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you're notified every single time that I upload. It feels like I haven't seen you guys in a very long time. Now, the reason for that is I think last week I didn't put out any content. And that was just because I just wanted to have some me time. I just wanted to chill. You might be able to see this card right here. It was my birthday last week. This is a gorgeous card that my brother got me. I love it so much. Do you know why? Because it resembles a picture that I have on my actual one of my bank cards, and I just love it so much. It's like a beautiful queen on the front of that. But yeah, I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling happy to see in a new age. You guys know, for some reason I don't get any anxiety or anything like that about turning a new age. With me, I actually tend to feel really excited about it, but about a week or two before my birthdays I always feel reflective, like what was the highlights of my year, how can I improve as a person, what would I do differently if I was in certain situations and stuff like that. But always got to give thanks and praise, because it is a blessing. It is a blessing to see in a new age. This video, as you can see by the title, for those of you that religiously watch my videos, you'll know that actually at the start of our first lockdown, I say first lockdown because as I'm filming, the UK Prime Minister is about to announce that we're going into a second lockdown. But at the start-ish of our first lockdown, I basically made a video where I was talking about what I'm going to talk about today. However, at some point, I deleted that video. I can't remember when. Reason for that is, I thought to myself, let me actually revisit certain things that I said, give certain things a try, and then take it from there and see if I still feel the same. Then I'm going to make a video about it, right? Dating apps. Alright, first things first, this video is not to slay apps at all, because I have to say I generally do believe that people can meet the love of their lives on apps. It is very possible. I wholeheartedly believe that. I even take pleasure in my spare time to actually watch videos about couples that met on apps. And I have to say, I have actually noticed that in regards to that, a lot of the success stories that I see tend to be from couples from the States. Now, I'm pretty sure that we probably do have success stories here in the UK, but I've noticed that with us lot in the UK, we tend to be very reserved with these things. We tend to not want to share our quote-unquote private stories. Nevertheless, dating apps. This video, the reason as to why I will never use dating apps again. Firstly, like anything in life, there's pros and there's cons to apps, yeah? I've been on and off them probably 3 to 4 years now. I've used a variety of apps. I've used POF, I've used Tinder, Hinge, Coffee Meets Bagel, OkCupid, Match.com. There's another one, I just can't remember the name of it, where it's like if you guys have crossed, is it Happen? It might be Happen, where if you guys have crossed paths or something, it pops up. Anyway, the long and short of it is, I've used a variety of apps. And because I've used a variety of apps, I've spoken to a variety of people over the years. I was gonna say I've had the pleasure, but I don't know if pleasure is the right word. Anyways, I've experienced meeting a couple people off of there. Not every person that I met was bad, to be honest. Funny enough, up until recently when I came off POF, I've actually appeared to have made a decent friend, which is interesting because only I would like join an app and make a friend out of it. Kind of defeats the purpose, but nevertheless, there you are. I've given these things a try at different timescales of my life. Some I've been on longer than others, yada yada. What I found is, from my experience living in this UK, I just feel like a lot of bottom of the barrels are on apps. And me saying that out loud, it does make me feel some type of way, because it's like, I'm quality in it. I think I'm quality. I think I'm a catch. I think there's so much depth to me apart from just my physical appearance. I would like to believe that I'm level-headed. I know how to express myself, amongst many other things. I find that with apps, the emphasis is predominantly on how people look which I get, because obviously generally speaking that's the first thing that you see. But what I find is when I actually try to converse with people on apps and stuff, a lot of people do not have any depth to them at all whatsoever. It's like, because people have had the time of their lives, having people put them on a pedestal because of how they look, a lot of these people have no morals, they have no character, they can't hold a good conversation, they don't know how to date, they don't know how to treat a woman at that. What I found is with apps, for me, it's been great when I'm just trying to look for no strings. Obviously, like anything in life, when you're using apps, you've got to put your safety first, apply common sense, meet up in an open space, do video calls beforehand and all of that good stuff. With COVID happening and stuff like that, obviously people are now doing the whole virtual dates and yada yada. Just apply common sense. Don't do things like go to a guy's house on the first date because you don't know him. Anything could happen, you could put yourself in danger, and that's something that I've never done. What I found is I've met so many weirdos on apps. Listen, if I was to get into the stories, couple stories, it would just be a very, very long video. But one story that I will share with you guys is I came across somebody via POF, and talking seemed cool. We eventually exchanged numbers, cool, and then we met up in person, and this individual spent a pretty long time talking about how he would basically want to sex a girl that I know. Yeah, that was very, very weird. And then a couple of years ago, I met this really cute guy off of Tinder. And yeah, you're probably gonna frown like, well, you know, it is Tinder. And this is the thing, in terms of apps, there are certain apps where sometimes we'll be like, oh, this app is better than that app, or that app is just a hookup site. Like, for example, Tinder is known to be a hookup site. However, there are many people that meet the love of their lives on apps like Tinder or POF. I think POF is the bottom of the barrel. POF has got to be the worst out of all of the sites. However, people meet their partners. People get married by meeting their partners on there. So it's an interesting one, but nevertheless, came across this really gorgeous guy via Tinder, and we met up in person. So we've gone out for dinner now, we're sitting talking, and he starts to tell me about his future aspirations. Great, right? His aspirations is to move to the motherland, buy a heap of land, create a farm, and basically he wants to have multiple children with multiple women and have them all live like under some kind of big house or whatever, where it's basically like they're all friends, so they're all intertwined. And yeah, it's just also very weird. Oh, hold on. It was just all very weird, to be honest, and I get it. Obviously everybody's entitled to have their life aspirations and whatnot, but what I found is, I feel like apps, for me, my personal experience, allowed a door to open, like a world to open, where I would just come across a variety of weirdos. Proper weirdos. One of my tweets recently was viral, where basically, I'm just looking at my phone trying to grab the screenshot. So basically, I was talking to this person via POF, and they had a picture up. I'm gonna put the screenshots here. They had a picture up of this black guy, you know, fit body and all of that. So we've got talking and stuff, and I don't know what it is. I'm very in tune with my spirit. I just felt like something wasn't right about that conversation. Anyway, nevertheless, out of nowhere, the person goes, do you like Indians? So I responded, I have no issue with them, why? And then the person goes, because I'm Indian and these pics are not mine. So out of curiosity, I'm like, so why are you using a black man's pictures to basically have sex with black women? And the person goes, because I don't understand mentality of females. Why all love? I'm guessing what they mean is, why do they all love muscles and big guys to fuck? I think good sex is when someone is fit enough to satisfy a lady. So I put LOL. So when you meet up with the people and you're not the same person in a pic, what happens? then you have a choice whether to go ahead or quit. But don't forget, I only have different skin color, the rest is the same. For me, I found that fucking ridiculous. I screenshotted it, I posted it on Twitter, everybody went completely nuts. I had to mute it off my timeline. But for me, that highlighted the fact of the dangers of apps. The fact of the matter is, you tend to not know who you're speaking to on apps. We are living in a day and age where, off the top of my head, I think apps like Hinge and I believe Bumble have a video call option, so you can schedule to, you know, video call somebody and see that you're actually talking to who the person says they are. But places like POF, absolute bottom of the barrel. In terms of security, it's not secure at all. When you report something, their owners do, like, customer service is a myth on POF. I reported that account and nothing was done, nothing, so I just had to block them. The amount of times that I've seen catfishes as well, for those of you that don't know what a catfish is, it is when you're using somebody else's picture but you're not that person. So for example, I've had quite a few people on my Instagram lately tell me that they've been talking to me on Tinder. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know who you guys are talking to, but it's not me. I haven't been using Tinder. When was the last time I was even on Tinder? I think maybe it was at the start of this year or maybe ending of last. So that goes to show there are people out there that are using my pictures and they're talking to various guys. So if those people don't schedule in like video calls or don't kind of work out that they're actually not talking to me, you will now go and meet up with somebody and only God knows what can happen. And things like that is also what partially puts me off, because I've noticed that, for example, on apps like Tinder in particular, POF in particular, those two apps in particularly have a majority of bots, they have a majority of catfishes, and it's just a very kind of world. And like I said, I found that when I'm trying to have fun or something, then yeah, you know, apps just yay, a very easy kind of thing. But for me, when I'm trying to look for like a meaningful connection, yeah, I've just noticed, I think I've just come to accept that the type of person that I am, I'm not gonna meet the type of correct individual for me, because I need that face-to-face interaction. I'm all about banter, you know, by all means look good. Who wants to go out with somebody that they're not attracted to? But you've got to have more to you than what's in between your legs and your appearance, because I think whilst appearance is cool, of course attraction is important, it's actually a person's character that will keep things going and will excite you. Because you know what, one day if them looks fade and the character is poor, then yeah, you've basically done a disservice to yourself. So yeah, that is the reason as to why me personally, I will no longer be using apps anymore. And not only just that, I do have to say what I found is they can be also a little bit addictive. And I'm not somebody that has an addictive personality, but I found that in the past when I've been on them, I become heavily engrossed in them. So maybe times when I should just be chilling, or times where I should be filming and I should be editing, I'm just scrolling and trying to, you know, check out matches and all of that. So I do think that it can be quite addictive and they can kind of steer you away from personal goals that you have. And also one weird thing that I had is I noticed that when I'm on there, I feel very yuck. Like, oh, why am I on here? And it's not even an ego thing. I think it's just because I've had a variety of negative experiences, and it was like, I would still go back. And then when I'm on there, I'm like, yuck, why are you on here, Winnie? Like, why? And then when I'm off, I feel so free, I feel so happy. But then you just hear that small voice in your head saying to you, oh, but that person for you could actually be on an app, you just never know, give it another try. But now I'm done diddly done, absolutely done. But just because I'm done doesn't mean that I would steer people away from there. I can only share my experience, and at the end of the day, my experience, although it may be a little bit negative, there is somebody else that may have a much more positive experience. in regards to apps and stuff like that. I just think at this moment in time, for me, the person that I am, and like I said, listen, these apps, I don't have nothing against them, but I've encountered some real weirdos. But one thing I will say in regards to Hinge and Bumble, I do love how recently they've been really capturing content in regards to black love. Hinge has actually been very vocal in regards to certain situations going on within the black community. Bumble continued to work with a variety of black creators, and during Black History Month over here in the UK, they were putting out content every day that showcased black love and spoke to a variety of people as to what black love means to them. I love seeing that. However, Bumble especially, I found it interesting that while they are promoting this content, which is amazing, it is fantastic, in the past when I have used their app, the options for us black women whose preferences are black men were very few. So there's that. But like I said, that might just be down to my location, it might just be down to where I am, because when I speak to other people have a lot of positive things to say in regards to apps. I sincerely do believe that apps are a great way for you to interact with people that you wouldn't necessarily bump into your day-to-day life, because like I said, when I've been on apps, I've had the pleasure of communicating with people outside of London, whether it's like Birmingham, Manchester, or just out of my area, and that's been amazing. However, it's just not for me, basically. So your girl is gonna be doing herself, I'm gonna be doing me. Now there's a second lockdown, rather than jumping on an app and trying to get apps to somehow secure my time, I'm just gonna focus on me. I'm gonna focus on putting out content, gonna focus on bettering myself, gonna focus on making sure that my mental health doesn't deteriorate during this time. However, listen, if any of you have been chatting to somebody that's using my pictures, I can guarantee you, I can promise you, you're not talking to me, because I'm not on any app at all apart from on social media. And that's only Twitter and Insta. I'm not on Facebook whatsoever. I just want to put that out there, because I don't know what the hell is going on in this world. But yeah, that was basically, don't know if it was a random video, but yeah, that's the reason why I will never use dating apps. Doesn't mean I'm against them, but yeah, aside from me recently making what appears to be a decent friend off of POF, yeah, I won't be blessing this face on any app again. Let's see what the universe has got in store for me. But yeah, until my next video, take care, be good.